Hey guys, welcome to Alignment Media. I'm Jens Delport,
I'm Brandon Johnson.
and we are so excited in this amazing new journey and adventure that we're going on as God has birthed this ministry called Alignment Media in my heart, and my amazing good friend Brandon has really just journeyed with me so that we can establish this. And yeah, I remember Brandon when I came over as a missionary in October 2018. That's when this actually was birthed in my heart. And the phrase, I don't know if you remember, I remember we were praying, and this phrase came into my spirit: alignment for the assignment. And it was about 3 weeks after that we were fixing your car. Tell them the story about the moment we were fixing your car.
Well, it was funny because Jens comes to America to help me work on my wife's brakes. So we're fixing the brakes on my wife's car, and there was this, it should have took us maybe a half an hour, 45 minutes. And there was this one part design flaw where we couldn't get one of the arms in alignment with the pin and get the pin back into the arm. And it took us like an hour and a half just trying to get that pin out. And we were like sweating, and we had stuff to do, and we were behind schedule. And we finally figured out how to like leverage this tool and bend the arm into the right spot, and we were able to get the pin in.
Oh yeah.
But it was just the other day, in fact, when I was mentioning this, I thought to myself, a car is a picture of a vehicle. It's a vehicle. It's a picture of ministry. Like, how do you get somewhere to accomplish something? So we had to like fix this thing so that we could get to where we needed to go. And it's just this concept of just like getting that thing in alignment. And once we got in alignment, once we got the right leverage, it just happened immediately.
Yeah. And that is the heart of Alignment Media, is to empower and equip individuals to align themselves for their specific God-given assignment. That's what Alignment Media is all about. And we're going to connect with people in different spheres of influence, the different mountains, the 7 mountains that Lance Wallner talks about. But we want those that have already aligned themselves, or maybe are in the process of aligning themselves with their God-given assignment. We want to hear the heart, how they've done it. For instance, Brandon, you've been aligning yourself with your assignment here in Santa Cruz. And I know that there's been many roadblocks, but also amazing fruit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing that we've seen is that really focusing on developing a plethora or a large amount of relationships with various leaders and public officials and church leaders. And God has really opened doors with mayors and various business leaders, and so we're really going to mine those relationships in this project, in this media, to really ask them, hey, how have you aligned with God? How have you allowed God to align you for the assignment that He's placed on you? And so we're going to be traveling to various places. We're going to go to various businesses, various government places, educational places, and asking them that question.
That's right.
How have you aligned yourself with the assignment that's on your life? And then just let them talk. Just let them share with us what they've actually learned.
Because they've got principles that make it easier for us to align ourselves for our assignment. Because that day with the car, the moment the nut and bolt were literally aligned, it just went in so easy. And it becomes effortless if we know the keys and the principles to align ourselves for our God-given assignment.
Yeah, and I think if you think about it, like one of the biblical examples for sin is this Greek concept of shooting an arrow. Well, if you're out of alignment when you shoot an arrow, you miss the target.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what the term sin, where we get the term sin from. Well, how can you get aligned with God's target?
Yeah.
Right? And then you're going to hit the target that you're trying to reach.
Oh, that's so good. I love that example. And yeah, we want to just encourage you to journey with us as we discover and talk to people and hear their stories and their amazing achievements, but also their failures where they haven't aligned.
Right.
I think we have to have that side of the story as well.
Yeah, we want to learn from when people achieve something, when they're in the middle of working through something, or where they blew it. All of those things, I feel like are going to give us principles, are going to give us stories that are going to encourage you who are watching.
Yeah.
It's going to encourage us, it's going to encourage you, and it's just going to be a time of discovery and encouragement. And we really want to, as we do this, also then shift it back to you, so that you're thinking about these, examples, these people who are doing this, but also that we would then speak prophetic declaration words of God's heart, mind, will, and emotion over God's assignment for you.
And just to come back to my story, where it started for me to really start aligning myself for the assignment, was in end of 2017. I got this word that God is sending me as a missionary. I've been a full-time pastor for 10 years, and now suddenly the idea of leaving what I know and I'm comfortable with, that I didn't have any problems at church. I love the people. That was where I had to be. But now suddenly this assignment came, and I had to realize it will cost me to align with that. Yeah. There was this prophetic word that God has called me to be a voice, to be a prophet to the nations, and now I have to align with that. And there was also sacrifices. One of them was I had to resign from my church, and I had to leave my hometown and home country to go to a different continent, different country. But it cost me obedience and to step out in faith. And to align for your assignment, I think this is one key that I really believe God is telling us today, is that it will cost you obedience. Yeah. And it's not always the fun stuff to do. Obedience is never easy, but the moment you step out in faith, in obedience, God will honor it.
He will.
And I can testify to that.
And even if you face resistance, and I mean, you faced some significant resistance just before you came, right?
Yeah.
Like 10 days before you were here, you got an announcement. How did that work out? I mean,
it was scary, because 10 days before my flight, the person that initially was a catalyst for me to come wasn't able to help me anymore, and to tell me, the things didn't work out on his side. So I'm left alone, and I felt alone. And then by God's divine hand, a friend of mine connects me to Brandon, and yeah, it worked out that I was on my way to San Francisco, and suddenly now I'm coming to Santa Cruz, which I didn't even know this place existed.
He doesn't skateboard.
I don't skateboard, or I don't surf.
Well, and then I had a friend that I had met a year before who is from Namibia.
Yeah. Who
said, "Hey, you gotta meet Brandon and see what God's doing in Santa Cruz." And then I get a Facebook message, "Hey, this guy wants to come." I'm like, "Oh, all right, cool. When does he want to come?" I'm like, "In 3 days."
I remember that. So yeah, we were really it was just God's amazing way of aligning us for the bigger assignment, because I believe there is a move of God busy happening in Santa Cruz that will affect the Bay Area, but also the whole United States. Yeah. So I had this, I first had this personal assignment to align with, but now I'm aligning with God's bigger assignment, and it's just so exciting.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the key things about you aligning and you coming was that once you got here, I realized that I had actually received a prophetic word from Jen Johnson a bunch of years ago, where the Lord, through her, the Lord said, "You're going to find this guy's coming. He's about 28. He's going to help you." And I just feel like God has brought Jens into this situation to help us see this revival happen in Santa Cruz, and still also to empower him to reach the nations. And so it's a real symbiotic relationship, a real win-win. It's definitely God moving. And I even remember God said, get your house ready, your downstairs apartment ready for some interns. Yeah. And then we kind of came up with all the reasons why. Well, we'll wait till do this, and we'll fix that, and then the interns will come. And Lord's like, no, you're taking too long. I'm sending them in 3 days. So
yeah, we want to just close by just releasing a prophetic word over you today.
Come on.
As you're listening, and we know that it's scary. And I really feel my heart that today, as you're listening to this, you're receiving a peace in your heart to take that step of faith.
Yeah.
Because we're not telling you what your signs, you already know.
Yeah.
But I really hear the Spirit saying, take the step of faith. I will be with you. And it's something where you're coming into partnership with the Holy Spirit, and He with you in this assignment. You're not alone. And I want to encourage you with that. There's really a peace of God that's coming upon you right now as you're listening to this.
Yeah, and I think of when the scripture says that Jesus, for the joy set before him, endured the cross. He endured the tough times and the resistance to his ministry. And there's going to be resistance you'll face when you step out in obedience, like you said. But the Lord will reward the obedience, and you will stay the course, and you will see the goodness and the beauty and the power of God released in your life. And so we just want to encourage you with that, that today is a day to make a decision, to step out in faith, to do something bigger, to align yourself with God's will and purpose and joy His heart and mind and will and emotions in your life
Yes.
to get you to the assignment He's called you to.
Yeah. So be blessed, friends. See you next time.
Yeah, alignment for the assignment. See you next time.